your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestling with Freddie. Our friend Jeff Dye is stuck at 38,000 feet, eating some honey-roasted peanuts and sipping on some water. And we wish him well. We wish him a safe flight. And we curse you, airlines. We curse you in the name of Andre the Giant. But to all of you who aren't flying and are listening in, happy Wednesday to you, or whatever day you listen to this podcast. Thank you for being a part of this show each and every single week. Thank you for creating Unsanctioned Thursdays. And thank you for the reviews and the comments that you guys have been leaving. I've been having fun reading them, even the mean and nasty ones. We haven't done news in a long time. We have some news to share. And the biggest news of the weekend, or the biggest name over the weekend that seems to be leaving WWE, is Bobby Lashley. Big, bad, beautiful, the almighty Bobby Lashley. I think a lot of people saw this coming. I think a lot of people felt the Hurt Business motto kind of went over to the Bloodline, and without booking and without story, you're not going to have talent that's happy. And if you're not getting the stories you want and you're not getting to work the matches you want, when your contract's up, you bounce. Or on the flip side, if the company's not feeling you anymore, or if they're not seeing the value that maybe other people see, then that's their reasoning. I don't know the insights to it. I'm friends with MVP, have been for a real long time since I worked there. He's been a guest on the show. You guys can go way back to season 1. I mean, way back. We've been on 4 years now. And you guys can listen to how we met, because he didn't like me when we first met, and we're pretty tight now. On the Thursday show, I have a little bit of an update on my wrestling promotion, and holy crap, if Bobby Lashley is available, yeah. So anyway, Tamina, who can deadlift like 400 pounds, I saw her in the gym one day when I worked there back in the day, and she was out lifting a couple of the smaller guys, and they were just sitting there like laughing their asses off. Like, dude, she's so much stronger than you are. Shut up. She's stronger than you too. And they were giving her big love. I love Tamina. She was always really nice to me. They hadn't been using her in a long time, but that family is big and beautiful, and they look out for and take care of one another. So Tamina's going to be all right. But our best wishes to everybody. I don't know if it's official, but it seemed like people are done. I haven't talked to MVP, so I don't know. I stay out of people's business for the most part. I just can't stop thinking about if Bobby Lashley's available. That's so insane to me. We're going to get into Monday Night Raw. Sorry, I'm like tripping out right now. The company can't somehow book Bobby Lashley. Anyway, Rhea Ripley, they can book. And I mean, when they get it right, they get it really, really right. See, you guys get love. You get honest criticism and you get honest love. They have done damn near everything perfect with Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley has taken advantage of every single moment. At the end of the day, only one person can get you over, and that is you. The company can give you the opportunity. The creative can give you the stories. The other wrestler can make you look great. But at the end of the day, it's on you, the wrestler, to execute. It's our job to help and assist, but we never get over as writers. Our job is to just help you get over. The wrestler has to execute. And I challenge each and every one of you to name a time when Rhea Ripley has not executed. You can't. That's why you all love her just as much as I do. I'm not acting like I'm the first or the biggest. I know everybody loves Rhea Ripley, but she's back. We've missed her. I don't think she's going to work for a little while because I think she's still rehabbing. But to have her on the microphone and as a part of the show again was just a shot in the arm, not just for the WWE roster, but for the fans to get to see their mommy, Rhea Ripley, once again chasing Liv Morgan out of the ring, ready to kick ass. But she started with a promo and the crowd went friggin' crazy. And here's the question. If Becky Lynch was the best female promo, let me back up. If Becky Lynch was arguably the best promo in the NBA, you could argue some of them were a little John Cena-ish. There's an analytic that says people watch only one episode a month. And so you kind of have to like reestablish who you are at least once a month, basically. If Becky Lynch is the best female promo, or was, where's Rhea Ripley? Because I think she's already surpassed that level of promo. It doesn't come off as brand conscious as a Cena promo would be. Hers seemed to come, and I'm sure she's rehearsed this. I'm sure it's a part of the character, but she's just good enough to do this. Hers have a bit more vulnerability attached to them. More than John, more than CM Punk. CM Punk is a very protective promo, right? The world is against him, or the world's all for him, but there's very little room for a gray area in a CM Punk promo. He either wants to fight you or he has your back for life. No gray area. Vulnerability is where the grayness comes in. And Rhea Ripley's ability to be strong and vulnerable at the same time, I think, is the key to every single one of her promos, whether it's just establishing, hey, I'm fighting this person, or if it's, hey, this is the reason why I am going to fight you. Either way, man, she gives an incredibly honest, unrehearsed, completely human promo. And I think she's just wonderful at it. And everybody's gotten to watch this girl from NXT who was like, sorry for the long pause there. It's just a trip to think about how long she's been doing this. To the first big moment, the WrestleMania Los Angeles moment where she had the Charlotte Flair match, to the passing of the torch, so to speak, from Becky to her while Becky takes time off. But it's like now when Becky comes back, or when anyone else comes in, there's a clear number one. And that number one is Rhea. She can wrestle. She can talk. You can love her. You can fear her. They've just done everything right with her. And everyone that she touches has just shot off like a rocket ship, which leads us to the rest of the Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio. This poor dude, man. He had a rough Monday night. He had a really rough Monday night. The next Monday Night Raw will have already aired by the time you guys hear this. But he had a rough night. He's trying to recover with Rhea Ripley. He said all the wrong things. He did all the wrong things, wrong choices. But at the end of the night, Rhea made it okay. Rhea made it okay. Not the Dominic Mysterio character. Rhea made it okay. We've got new champions in Finn and JD McDonough. They got the championships. Damian Priest. So this is the match everybody's kind of been waiting for. The match that all of us should have expected, although not all of us did. I think I even thought he might lose the championship to Seth. I don't remember what my prediction was. I was probably wrong. That's why I forgot it. But he comes out to the ring. Gunther comes out to the ring. And I finally thought they wrote Damian in a powerful way. And they did it. I don't think I could have done it any better, but it basically went like this. So they're out there talking their normal crap back and forth. And then Gunther completely embraces the bad guy, the heel. And he says, yo, I am better than you. I'm superior to you. I'm the best. I've been told I was the best since I was a young kid. I was raised by a stable household. I had the best mentors, the best coaches. They told me I was the best until I was. You're trash. You didn't come from the family I came from. You didn't come from the mentors I come from. You had to do everything yourself. That doesn't make a man great. It makes a man hard. It makes a man tough. But greatness can only be sculpted by greatness. And that's why I'm better than you. And Damian Priest just sits there and takes all that. And I'm like, no, dude, you cannot take that. You either have to punch him in the face or you have to have the response of responses. Well, he doesn't punch him in the face. He comes back and he says, yeah, man, you were told you're the best. You did have every single opportunity handed to you, and I didn't. And it did make me tough, and it did make me hard. But you know what your lifestyle turned you into? You know what all those mentors and all these people telling you how great you are and you never failing and always succeeding, you have no heart. You don't have the guts at the end of the day. Where you draw the line, that line that you won't cross, I haven't even gotten fucking started yet. I came up with nothing, with no one. And I'll be damned if the most privileged dude on the roster who proudly states it is going to take away what I died for nearly. I loved it But I just thought Damian finally looked strong and like a champion that I want to root for instead of a champion that makes mistakes. Like Seth Rollins, I got a lot to prove. Screw that, man. You're the champ. They got to prove it. They got to prove it to you. Everything you've gone through, your journey, and you got something to prove to them. Man, you don't need to do that. You don't need to give them that information. You don't need to give them that ammunition to use against you. You got to protect that. And this was the first time I felt like he didn't take a single bullet. He was just so tough that the bullets didn't hurt. But either way, whether he matrixed it or juggernauted it, he was the man in this promo. He looked great. Gunther looked great too, but I was just excited to see how well they did with Damian. The reason this story's working, the reason no one's going, oh, why isn't Seth Rollins in the heavyweight championship picture? Why isn't Drew McIntyre? And why isn't my guy CM Punk? And what's wrong, Freddie? Tell us. They've been given a great story. Whether it means more to you than the world championship story, whether it means less or whether you like them both the same, they've given you another story. And the story started with, and hear me out on this, with Seth Rollins and CM Punk, not Drew McIntyre. With Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Because remember when CM Punk came back, it was Seth Rollins sitting outside the ring going, F you son of a B. Don't you? I don't know why I'm not cursing now. I was cursing earlier, but you know what I mean. And everyone goes, ooh, it's going to be so sexy. It's going to be Seth versus CM Punk. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see this. And then the incident happens in the Royal Rumble where CM Punk gets injured. And Drew says, I prayed for this moment. I hate you. I prayed to God that bad things would happen to you. And I've never prayed that on anyone. I've never wished that on anyone. That's how much I hate you. And we love this story. But Punk's hurt. And they have to ride around it. They have to keep you interested in CM Punk. So they bring him back, even though he can't work yet. And they let him work his magic on the microphone. And then he takes this blind beating that we can't see behind a garage wall so that he's not actually having to take any bumps and the dude's body can heal. He's close to my age. It takes a while to heal, I promise. Jesus, I hurt my back. It took like a month. In my 30s, it took like 3 days. In my 20s, it took like 6 minutes. And before that, it didn't get hurt. But they protected CM Punk. They've protected Seth Rollins and giving him motivation to fight. And they've protected Damian Priest and Gunther's story by giving those three men something to do other than be focused on the world championship and not have them look like second-rate dudes at the same time. Those are all top guys. They should only be worried about the world title picture unless they have a good storyline. They used to do this back in the day. Top guys wouldn't even be fighting for the belt. They would be in storylines where they hated one another. But yeah, I think they're doing a lovely job with it. You don't have to let it cook because it's in our face every single week. They're showing you new layers and new elements to the story each and every single week. Sometimes it's solely focused on Drew, like it was this week, where they're like, look, you can come back to work. I'm telling you, I'm inviting you back to work. No suspension. That's gone. No more penalties to be paid. No more fines to be paid. All you have to do is apologize to this ref right here and this ref right here because you assaulted them, Drew. And instead of them calling the police and having you arrested on multiple counts of assault, which is what it is, all you have to do in front of these people is take accountability. Now, this is a tragic mistake on Adam Pearce. He should have had him do this in private. Then Drew would have been like, the Drew McIntyre character would have been like, look, man, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, Adam, I said my apologies. We can do this in the ring. You and I, you can welcome me back. And I'll promise in front of everyone to do better. The Drew McIntyre character would have gone for that. But Adam Pearce said, no, dude, you're going to do it in public. Not only are you going to apologize, you're going to emasculate and humiliate yourself. You're going to tell that to like the single most alpha personality character-wise on the roster. In real life, Drew's a super nice guy. I don't think he's like this. I knew him back then. He was like one of the nicest dudes ever. But the character's not having that, man. He's not going to shame himself. He's not going to embarrass himself. If you're going to embarrass Drew McIntyre, you have to be at the level of CM Punk. He's not going to let anyone do it to him. And he's certainly not going to self-humiliate. No way, no day. So, God. Anyway, you know what happens next. He beats the shit out of both the referees again. Says, fuck you. And he leaves the ring. And it was so good. Because you know from Jump Street, man, like he's not doing that. Real Drew would have never even put his hands on a ref. He's like legit one of the nicest guys I met when I worked there. Braun Breaker is a sociopath. I love Braun Breaker. They have him just killing everybody whenever he wants for whatever reason he sees fit. And apparently he's making enough money that he can afford the fines that Adam Pearce keeps hitting him with. I don't know how you control this man, this monster, this beast. He can't be controlled. He's super pissed at Sammy. He's super pissed at Ilya Dragunov, and he beats the crap out of one of them or both of them each week. But I still think they're doing a really good job with him. I think I'm not laughing because it's bad. I'm laughing because it's just funny how insane he is. We got to wrap up Raw with some Wyatt Six, and it's still growing on me. They gave Eric Rowan, or have given Eric Rowan, some time on camera. And some people are wanting them to wrestle already, but I really like this reintroduction to the characters. And we're getting introduced to them through vulnerability and sympathy, which are sometimes difficult emotions for men to express. A lot of us, me included, I've learned to evolve since, are raised that men are basically allowed two emotions, anger and lust, right? Those are the only ones we're willing to show. And we hide a lot of other ones, all right? Like, don't cry. Don't cry in front of other guys. They'll think you're weak. Don't cry in front of your woman. She won't respect you. Like, all that kind of stuff. We're not seeing that with these macho, big, huge, badass men. It's, I think, a good balance is where we need to be. But they're showing a good balance in their controlled emotion and the release of emotions based on how they talk about their treatment, their love for Bray, and their love and admiration for Bo, who's brought them back together. And we've seen Eric Rowan now, the biggest, scariest dude there is, nasty looking dude, and he cried. He cried. He was being honest with us. He was being truthful with his feelings, and it came out naturally. He's not some Academy Award winning actor. That was real shit. And he should be commended for it. It helps us care for this character. They ain't going to be heels. I'll tell you that. That's how you earn sympathy is through tears. Even a hardened man sees another man crying. It's like, oh, God damn, brother. Come on, man. Keep it together. That's why it hit so hard when Sean Penn broke down in Dead Man Walking. Like, it hit dudes hard, those kind of moments. So Chad Gable this week comes out and he says, F you, Bo. I know that you're Uncle Howdy. I'm shedding the spotlight on you as if none of us knew. Come on, Chad Gable. And he calls Bo out. And Bo comes out and he gets attacked by the Creed brothers. And they start whipping his ass. And Chad starts whipping his ass. And Bo Dallas starts laughing. He's getting whooped so bad he starts laughing. That makes him beat him even more. And they slam him into the corner and they kick him in his head and kick him in his chest, kick him in his arms and legs. Ha, ha, ha. He starts laughing again. Even when they think they've broken him, he starts not getting back up, but he starts going crazy and giggling again, and it's driving him crazy. And so they go to beat his ass again. They have to break this man's will, and all of a sudden, the lights go out. Then the smoke starts coming in the ring. And here comes the Wyatt Six, even though there's not six of them. The Y5. And all the bad guys run. The Creed brothers and Chad Gable. They don't have the guts. They don't have what it takes to face a man that can cry on camera. And Eric Rowan and the others, who I'm sure we'll all get to know soon. And because of this sort of slow motion storytelling that they've done, and I say slow motion because remember when it was just like scan things that you had to hold your phone up to the screen and get a code and translate the code and wait for Sam Roberts to explain to you what it means. I couldn't do it, so that's why I didn't. I don't even know how to scan a menu. I have to have the paper one. Sorry, guys. It's been such slow motion storytelling that now we're getting the reason why they came together, and we're getting the question answered as to who these people are, which is why I think there'll be a video on everybody and everyone can kind of express their feelings. I don't know how authentic it can be with the ones who didn't know Bray. So they're going to have a different point of view, right? They're going to have to be like, yo, we weren't thought of. We weren't cared for. We were outcasts. We were thrown away, or we're soon going to be thrown away. And this man helped us avoid that fate. Maybe it's more that direction or something way better. I like the way commentary helps sell it. Even when it's goofy, that's okay. Like the Pat McAfee stuff is goofy, but he's goofy and he's committed to goofy, and it works. It all works. So I think they're doing a good job. It's the end of Monday Night Raw, you guys. When we move on to SmackDown, or Solo Sikoa, or as Jeff Dye used to call him, Sequoia. He's not here, so I can talk a little trash. Solo's the friggin' man, and whoever's writing for them and helping them come up with this is doing a great job as well. You're either the man or the woman, whichever one of you is writing it. You all are doing great. From the original conception of it, to bringing Solo in, to bringing these other cats in, from Jacob and Tongaloa and Tama. I always mess their names up. Tamatanga and Tongaloa. They're just doing a great job. It's so cool because Solo's playing like this young mob boss, like John Gotti, right? He doesn't care what the old traditions were. He's in charge because he feels he's the best suited man to be in charge, that he knows what's best. This is how Roman felt when Roman sort of put himself in position to be made the tribal chief. I don't know if Solo, the character, has earned it, but he's taken it. So that there will be conflict when Roman comes back. And Solo's already said, like, yo, he's acknowledging me, or that's a wrap. You've seen what I've done to these other cats that tried to step up. Like, each one of them gets smashed through a friggin' table. So please disagree with me. But the way they shoot him looks cool. You can't always see his face as much as I want, but if that's intentional, then party on. But it's written well, and his execution, he's come so far so fast, from not letting him speak at all to giving him one line, to giving him two lines in a backstage segment, to now him just doing full promos or full backstage segments where nobody's speaking except him. I don't think people are talking about how quick he's grown enough and how great a job he's doing. His storyline has led us to SummerSlam because Cody Rhodes ain't having it. His character doesn't care if he's outnumbered. He doesn't care if he's going to get his ass beat. He does what he believes is right and what universally is morally right. He's All Might from My Hero Academia. He does it with a smile. He's gotten Randy almost killed, and I like what they're doing with this. He has Kevin Owens this week, and now he has to watch Kevin Owens get killed. Jacob Fatu, by the way, is a stud. Went out there and just beat up everybody again. They call him the Samoan werewolf. I like that. I used to call John Moxley the werewolf, but this dude's like twice the size of John Moxley. He's freaking humongous. So I might have to stick it just to this one, because you can't have two werewolves in professional wrestling. But he went and killed everybody. Tamatanga, he took some whooping, and Tongaloa took some whooping, and then they came back and they killed everybody too. The commander in chief, the head of the table, which is weird to say, is Solo Sikoa. And they make Cody Rhodes watch it. They make him watch. And so motivation-wise, they're letting the entire locker room know, if you stand with this guy, it's going to happen to you like it did Randy. It's going to happen to you like it did Kevin. It's going to happen to you like it did Paul. It's going to happen to you like it's going to happen to Cody. Anybody that stands with this guy. So they want to isolate him so he has no help at SummerSlam, and he is all alone. But that's what Cody wants to be, right? Like it's like a kid that grows up in the streets. It's hard to scare in a fight in the streets, right? They're like, yo, this is where I'm from. And Cody likes being the underdog. He likes having the cards stacked against him. That was his entire story in losing the first time at WrestleMania and then eventually coming back and gaining the title. It was being the underdog, being in the thorns, being, not that he's from the streets or anything like that, but you understand the comparison I'm trying to make. If you don't, I apologize. He's comfortable in discomfort. And that's what jiu-jitsu guys would say. And so I don't know if they're making the right move story-wise. I'm not talking about their writing. I think the writing's great. I don't think the characters are making the right choice, because that's where he thrives. However, this could be a situation where a title does change hands because the numbers are just too friggin' great. The thing is, Solo's been in the company for such a short amount of time. can you really do that? Does he have that much of a household name where people would be like, yo, we got to watch and make sure he loses and Cody's got to get his belt back? I think more of the onus is on Cody in that scenario. So more than likely, Cody will win at SummerSlam. I think when we do predictions, that's the direction I'm going to go. But yeah, man, they're just doing a great job. Each show, Raw and SmackDown, has an A storyline. Each show has a B storyline that doesn't always hit, but the A storylines are hitting. They even have C storylines on these shows. Remember, Raw's 3 hours. They have to. But they'll squeeze a third storyline in there on SmackDown too. So they're really trying to give as much opportunity as they can to the wrestlers they believe in and give everyone an opportunity to get themselves over. AEW, they're not telling too many stories yet, but I'm hoping they're about to start. They gave us some Mariah May. They gave us the reason why. Why did I turn on her? I'm surprised y'all didn't see me turning on her sooner, is basically what her response is. So that story, that's page 1, basically. The shoe shot and the bloody face was the cover of the book. That's what made us buy the book, right? Page 1 is the reason why your protagonist or antagonist is in this story. And then hopefully when we watch Dynamite tonight, we start to get more of the story from the other characters' perspective as well. So I think that's where they're going to go if they're going to give us some long-term storytelling, because that match should be at Wembley with Toni Storm and the Londoner, Mariah May. I was shocked by this, but I didn't think this match would have a finish. It was MJF versus Will Ospreay, the international champion. And instead of ending the story with an Iron Man match, we basically got an Iron Man match, a 59-minute match and like 58 seconds with MJF winning the title, which I was completely surprised by. And him basically saying his whole new premise being, you can thank me later. I'm going to bring this company back. I know what the ratings were when I wasn't here, and now I have to build it back from where it was all over again, you assholes. All right, fine, I'll do it, and you'll thank me later. That's going to be his character's perspective. And now Will's going to have to climb the mountain, which would be a challenge. But he's the man that wants a challenge, so he'll come after it hardcore. And so their story began with a car crash, basically. Their story began with an explosion. Their match was the cover of the book, and we went, yo, or the poster of the movie. And we go, yo, what the hell? These fools just went for an hour, and Max is getting oxygen at the end of the freaking match. Had you done that, you would have won. But you're not the man I am, so you couldn't do it. And that's why I have the belt, and you don't. So that's where his character's coming from. And their story should move forward to Wembley as well, which is their all-in show, their huge show that'll be 80 to 88,000, probably somewhere in that number. We'll have Mariah May versus Toni Storm, another England boy. I think he's from Essex, and that's Will Ospreay versus MJF. So those are just those two matches. If they had no more matches, if they said we have 2 matches, these 2, I would already buy the pay-per-view, regardless of the story. And a lot of times AEW focuses more on the match than the story, which hardcore wrestling fans, I'm sure, are like, yeah, I prefer that. But mainstream wrestling fans, I think, need a reason why. So I hope they give them a story. But I will say, no matter what, I'm buying that pay-per-view if those are 2 of the main events, and they should be. We saw Britt Baker progress the Mercedes Moné storyline. She snuck into the crowd, wore a Sting mask, took it off, and put some beatdowns on Mercedes before security came. She didn't beat up the entire security team this time like last week, which was better. And we'll get to see them at Wembley too. So now that's your third. I hope they don't give away that match. There's no way they would. But that will now be a third almost main event worthy type match, if you want to look at it that way. People freaking love Dr. Britt Baker, by the way. I do too, but people are so stoked that she's back. Other than that, we got Blood and Guts tonight. If you're listening to the show today on Wednesday, if not, you've already seen this. We'll see how that goes. The AEW versus the Elite storyline is not my favorite storyline in wrestling, so don't give it much time. But the match should be really cool because the people in it are awesome wrestlers, especially with we get a little rematch for Hangman and Swerve. So we'll get more into AEW as they give us more to talk about. We got a listener review, and this one's coming from JAJ 2018. I'm going to call you Jaj. How you like that, Jaj? And thank you for the 5 stars. And Judge says, I did not realize how involved he is with wrestling. He is talented. Oh, this is super nice. He is talented in so many ways. His vocals and passion make for a great listen. The vocals are my worst quality. I hate the sound of my voice so much. But I'm glad that Judge likes it, and I hope you do too. Stay tuned for Unsanctioned Thursdays. We're going to get into sort of the process of developing an episode of wrestling, at least from what I knew when I was there. I'll give you guys a little update on my own promotion and how I'm doing with that. And I'm closer to success than failure right now. That's the only hint you get. Until next week, I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. on behalf of Jeff Dye. Thank you guys. I'm out of here. Peace.
This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.